Ontario's real estate market keeps flip-flopping. It feels like the headlines are telling you that it is a fire sale and it is a buyer's market, but then you turn around and you're seeing sold signs everywhere. So what is the actual truth? Well, the reality is both of those things can be true at the same time. Now, from a macro perspective, rates are easing, listings are definitely piling up, and leverage is shifting to buyers. But in this video, I'm going to break down what's happening, boots on the ground, so you can make more strategic decisions, whether you are buying, selling, investing, or building. So a quick market snapshot. Canada's 10-year bond yield is at 3.12% as of the date of shooting this video. That is actually down 6 basis points this week alone. The prime rate sits at about 6.95%, which remains unchanged. But what does that actually mean to you? Well, it means money is actually slightly cheaper, but not enough to light that fire that a lot of sellers and agents are waiting for. The reality of though, the real shift is actually on the supply side, not the cost of borrowing. So on the supply side, Ontario hit a record 42,545 new listings in September of 2025. That is up 8.5 year over year. The average price is around $781,500, down 7% from last year, and months of inventory is up actually 5.2 from 4.9%. Now, months of inventory is, if we stopped listing properties today, how long would it take before we ran out of houses to sell? 4 to 6 is much closer to a balanced market. Above 6 is a true buyer's market. But why does it feel like a buyer's market out there? It's because they have a lot of options, and we are seeing insane low balls on so many of our properties, and we are encouraging our sellers to sign those offers back because the buyers are real. They just think that they can steal every property out there, and not every agent is built the same. And a lot of agents are just saying, well, this is the best offer you're going to see, and convincing their sellers to take the offers and drive the market lower. While in other instances, if you hire somebody with a great aptitude for negotiations, you might be leaving $50,000, $100,000 on the table without actually realizing it. So in plain English, there is more choice, slower absorption, and definitely smarter buyers. Now that is from a macro perspective. Let's zoom into Southwestern Ontario and do a quick market pulse. London, Ontario is a great test market. It's where our team works. We actually cover the London greater area, so everything from Kitchener to Sarnia, Windsor, Chatham area. We have some great partners down there, and Lake Erie to Lake Huron, so think like Grand Bend to Port Stanley. So you really do get a good snapshot of what's happening in primary markets as well as secondary, tertiary, and recreational markets. The London prices are at around $622,000, down about 3%, and the listings are actually up double digits. In St. Thomas, the EV industry jobs are keeping entry-level demand steady, but absorption is actually slowing a little bit, and people are asking a lot of questions about timelines when it comes to the EV plant and the infrastructure. In Lambton Shores, we're actually seeing an increase in service lot availability and some unserviced land that is just waiting for absorption before they actually do anything. But in Grand Bend in particular, we're seeing rental-capable waterfront homes still outperforming pure vacation properties. And we're also seeing a migration of people from larger markets to the lifestyle that you'll find in those areas. Same thing is true for the Port Stanley area. If you really look at what's happening with restaurants like Riva, the activities, the lifestyle, a lot of the conversations that we're having with people are, what's it actually like to live there, because they have the flexibility of being able to live in a place like Port Stanley and still work hybridly, have quick access to the 401, and really increase their lifestyle. Now, I guess what are the key takeaways that we're seeing from all this data? Well, we're definitely seeing stable rates, but what we're seeing winning is execution and speed. I think that is going to determine who's actually winning in this market, and some buyers are winning and some sellers are winning. It really depends on the strategy that you're taking. So quick action items for you buyers, I would say lock in your rate holds and act on value. I would definitely say take some shots. Could you be surprised at what some sellers would take? And I wouldn't wait for the perfect signal. I've never actually met anybody that could time the market. Be very cautious. Don't get above your skis and don't just buy for the sake of buying. I actually had a consultation with somebody yesterday who's like, man, this builder is giving me $20,000 off the price of the home. But I'm like, are they really? Like, really, if you look at the options of what you can buy out there right now and what's available to you, are you buying it because you need it as a utility, or are you buying it as an investment? Because those are two very different conversations. And can you carry this property if the market continues to decline? In another instance, we were consulting with a seller who's looking to purchase a new home, and we were talking about the reality of buying new, not selling your house first, not having the cash in the bank, and what happens if the market shifts over the next 8 to 12 months. I do think new home construction is a massive opportunity, but you need to be strategic. And what are some key dates to watch? Definitely November 4th, the permit dashboards. On November 6th, the labor report comes out. The 8th, the CMHC housing data comes out. And the 10th is the federal fiscal update. Very curious to hear what they're going to have to say about their budgeting and their plans. I don't think we can spend our way out of this mess. A lot of that data will tell tell us whether the reset holds or it actually deepens heading into year end. That is it for this week's Prime Real Estate Report. If you enjoyed some of the information we shared, subscribe for next week's field ready breakdown and insights before the headlines catch up. We give you the information before the news done, and I'll see you on the next one.